Thank you for attending our press conference this afternoon. Well, we're finally here. This has been a long time coming, and we're finally at the point. I'd like to thank a couple people to begin with. I'd like to thank Monster Energy, our title sponsor, as well as CBDMD. I'd like to thank Showtime Television, Mr. Steven Espinoza, Mr. David Nevins. I'd also like to thank Mr. Andy Foster. This is the first, I would say, our return to having a audience with without any restrictions. Although with the COVID, we have to wear the mask while we're in the arena next Saturday or this Saturday. But as far as the COVID restrictions, that's pretty much it. As far as coming back, I really feel this is a relaunch of Bellator. We've had about 16 months of doing fights in a closed environment where we have to do fights without an audience. It's been challenging. I know for the fighters, it's been challenging for us. It's been a grind for the staff. It's been a grind, but we're finally here. And like I said, we've announced some great fights coming up in London and Moscow. We have the Sioux Falls fight. We have other fights that we're going to announce next week. We have a great lineup for everybody, not just domestically, but worldwide. So we're very excited. Again, this is the relaunch of Bellator this Saturday with this fight. This is an unbelievable main event. This is a fight that when I was sitting there watching the pairings, when they were choosing the pairings and doing the drawings, and Pitbull had the final say with what side the brackets run, I honestly was sitting there going, I sure hope that AJ and Pitbull is the final fight. And here we are, 14, 15 months later, and for $1 million to be on the line, and the belt and the tournament belt. Again, this was not an 8-man tournament. This was a 16-man tournament. So excited. This is great. I wish both fighters good luck, and I will see everybody there on Saturday night.
First question over here for the champion. Patricio, you've accomplished so much in your career. You're thought of as the Bellator GOAT by many, but do you feel like this is still the biggest, most important fight of your career for you and your legacy?
It's one of that. I fought with several guys that was very tough too. I beat Michael Chandler, and that was a revenge for me because all that shit. But now is a new opportunity to show my talent.
And AJ, every single fighter that stepped in the cage with him, none of them has been able to hand him that first loss. So what do you see in his game that you feel like you're going to be able to take advantage of that perhaps these other guys hadn't?
Just being faster, younger, stronger, just fighting smart, you know what I mean? Keeping my range and making him bring the fight, Everyone goes out there and rushes him. So let's see what he does.
And same thing for Pitbull. I mean, him being undefeated, how do you think you're going to hand him the first loss?
He has all of this, what he told, but he's very nervous. He don't want to be there in the cage. I feel that.
And AJ, for you, I mean, we've talked about this with you since your Bellator debut in April 2015, every step of the way. Saturday's the moment that you've talked about. So a couple days out of it, how are you feeling?
Man, ready. Like I said, it's 22 years in preparation that I've prepared for this moment. All my training my entire life has been built up for this moment. So nerves? Nah. I've been on big stages since I was a kid, wrestling at Reno Worlds in front of thousands of people. So I think he thinks I'm nervous, but I think that's him trying to self-reflect a little bit and push his little self on me.
And I think coming into a title fight, usually people think that the champion's the one that has everything to lose. But do you feel like you maybe have as much on the line here with your star potential? And I mean, a lot of people think if you win this fight, it's quite possible that you could go on to be the biggest star in Bellator history.
Definitely. There's definitely a lot on the line. Being undefeated, like I said, there's always an extra O. It's not just the 6 in that check I'm fighting for, but that extra O on my record, live up the legacy, continue my father's legacy, be a champ, I look at his poster every day. He's a champ. So it's now time for me to go get my belt.
I want to ask the co-headliners a question as well. You guys are up here on the stage. You have a big spotlight coming up on Saturday. I know there's a number one contender fight allegedly coming up here in South Dakota between J.J. Wilson and Adam Boric. But do you feel like you guys could end up stealing the show tonight and sneaking in there to challenge the winner of the main event?
Absolutely. And I'm looking for the winner of that or whoever doesn't come out victorious on Saturday night. This is what I want. Clean out this division and prove that I'm the best. And I have this man to thank that he only made a much more dangerous fighter.
For me, my calendar ends on July 31st, so all I have on my mind right now is the fight on Saturday, and after that, we figure stuff out.
Question for Scott. Hey, Scott, you just talked a little while ago about how you had hoped that the final would be this matchup that we have. But speaking from one side, from AJ's side, the fact that it's been such a slow burn, his career build, being Bellator homegrown and getting to this point, can you just sort of talk about that plan coming together and how satisfied you are that he's come as far as he has?
Yeah, you know what? When I came to Bellator, I said, we got to build from the ground up, just like I did in Strikeforce, and we have to buy from the top down, which are the free agents, to keep this machine moving. And, I was lucky enough I was actually going to go see Rampage Jackson, and his father was throwing a fight with Rampage, and AJ was the main event that night, and it was an amateur show. And I said, yeah, this kid, he's got some swagger. He's got a certain X factor about him. He's got a good look to him. He spoke well. He's cocky. And I said, you know what? Let's sign this guy. And so we started talking to the dad. The dad came into the offices there in L.A., and we had probably, I want to say, maybe a 6-hour conversation that day. It was not a short conversation. I clearly remember that. But and all joking aside, I mean, it was the beginning of the being in the AJ McKee business. And so, I think that this is, you have Pitbull, who has been the champ since AJ came here. Think about that. I mean, that's how long he's been reigning and taking care of business. And that's why this fight is going to be so interesting.
Question for Pitbull. I saw you post on Instagram, right over here. Snoop Dogg backing a knockout for McKee here in Los Angeles. Do you feel any extra pressure with the stars on you, looking at you here in Los Angeles for this title fight?
No, that was funny. I was laughing about that. It's be part of the game.
And question for McKee. There's a little bit of a rumor, if you get the win, a rematch potentially here at 155. Is that something you would look forward to in your next fight?
Definitely. 17, 18 fights, 18-0 in the organization. There's nothing left for me in the division. What more can I do? I want to go conquer the 155-pound title as well. I've been calling for it, before Conor did it, before he did it, before anyone did it. I said I was going to be a champ. So it's time for me to go get my goals.
And last question for Mr. Coker. Any update on who Fedor Emelianenko would be fighting potentially for that last fight?
Yeah, that is something that we will announce next week. We'll let to keep the focus on these guys. These guys are amazing athletes. It's an unbelievable event, and we'd like to keep the focus on the guys today. Thank you.
Gareth A. Davis from the Daily Telegraph, TalkSport, and BBC iPlayer. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Can I ask Pitbull, first of all? AJ McKee and Antonio McKee have mentioned size a lot in the build-up to this fight. And they seem to be saying that because he's so much bigger than you, younger, stronger, faster, all those things, he has the advantages. Do you think he's underestimating you in any way?
Quando seu inimigo está cometendo erro, não interrompam.
When your enemy is making a mistake, don't interrupt them.
Fair enough. Can I ask Mads Burnell, first of all? Mads, obviously you're fighting Emmanuel Sanchez, who's very well known here in the States. Do you feel like this is a title eliminator for you, and that, you could be one of the few guys from Europe to take a Bellator title eventually?
Like I said earlier, I only focus on this fight. What happens after is that's after July 31st. We get it on. We see who's the best, and the best man continues, go on, and probably get the title shot. I thought initially this would be a title eliminator, but then I saw J.J. Wilson and Adam Borics had a title eliminator, number one contender fight coming up. So it is what it is. I have this fight on Saturday. That's all I'm focused on.
AJ, you have adopted the swag. You know, you want to. You've said you want to be the Mayweather of MMA. How much are you looking forward to this moment? How exciting is it? How exciting is it to have all these cameras on you all the time and to have your life in lights?
22 years, like I said, I've been dreaming for this moment. So it's now here. You just embrace it and enjoy every second, every moment of it, and continue to build off of it.
And finally, for Mr. Coker, Scott, what does it mean to have a fight of this magnitude, the $1 million up there, of course, a fight of this magnitude in front of a big live crowd? Because, you know, it's been a long time since there were crowds at Bellator events. Do you think it gets something extra special out of the fighters?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gareth, I always believe that sports needs fans, and fans need sport. And I believe that the fans are the oxygen of the people competing. And so when there's no audience, it's just a different feeling. It doesn't mean they can't compete, and they're doing their best, and there's, you know, there's wins, and there's losses, there's knockouts, there's submissions, sometimes decisions. But at the end of the day, I do believe the fans can make a difference in the outcome of a fight.
My first question is for Pitbull. AJ is the longest fighter you've ever dealt with. I believe it's an 8-inch reach advantage. How did you prepare for someone that long?
I fought 4 times against someone like him. It was Daniel Strauss. And I feel comfortable. I have several guys in my gym as a partner like him. I believe in more
No one
technical.
like me.
And I'm going to prove you. I'm going to use it too. I know you.
I think you know me.
My next question is for AJ. AJ, you know, we've seen you a lot in the Bellator cage. It's the only place you fought professionally. So far, you haven't seen the championship 4th and 5th round. What are you doing to prepare for somebody who's obviously been there already?
Get him out of there. It's not going championship rounds. He doesn't want to go championship rounds. I know that. And if it comes down to it, I know I can fight 5-5s like that. You know, the Pat Curran fight was a perfect example. It's 3-5 minutes of just easy work, you know. So to do another 2 rounds like that is bread and butter.
Now, Antonio, you and I spoke about, you know, eventually facing Pitbull in this finals. This has kind of been a laid out plan for you and AJ from pretty much the beginning of the tournament to the end. How is it for you to see your son up here on the biggest stage?
Well, I don't know, we were either psychic or we got some type of prophecy thing going here, but this has all been written since he was 3, 5. It's happened step by step by step to him writing $1 million check when he was like 10 years old. Like, he couldn't even spell million. His check is laugh. It's funny trying to get that, but it's like we're psychic looking in a ball and we see all this stuff happening, and we just got to make sure that we do the right thing and carry ourselves with respect and pride, and, you know, just be an upright person and not get crazy and get, you know, like some of the things you've seen other fighters do. We just want to be respected, and we want to be a trendsetter for people who want to do this sport. We want to be the examples, you know, not trash talking and all that stuff. We did that already. We came from a different place, so we choose to do the right thing this time. And I think we're doing a good job at people admiring, like, how father and son, considering a lot of people don't have fathers. So he's able to train with his dad every day. I don't know what they're going to do that we don't know how to do or know how to stop. I mean, you guys haven't even seen his wrestling. He's been doing jiu-jitsu and punching. He can wrestle his ass off. So if he wants to do this the easy way, go out there, wrestle, take him down, hold him. He ain't going to submit him, so it's just up to him. He's got the IQ when he's out there. He knows what he's doing. I have a lot of confidence in what he's doing, and I believe in him.
My last question is for Scott. You know, AJ being from LA, was it important to bring this finals back to Los Angeles?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, we have come to LA twice a year, or at least once a year, and the last time we were here was in January of, I think, 20. So it's been a year and a half, and it made a lot of sense. And when it opened up, and I got a call from Andy Foster saying that they're open for business and in a full scale, and California COVID cases were going down. We said, let's go to LA, or we were thinking about San Jose. San Jose didn't have the opportunity for the venue availability at the time. But this fight just made a lot of sense here in LA, and I'm glad we did it because it's the right place to have this fight.
Coach Antonio, over here in the back. So, Coach, one of the things that AJ has said is that, you know, he is your revenge to MMA. Can you talk a little bit about, from the beginning with his career, teaching him what you know, but then also obviously teaching him to be a better mixed martial artist than you were?
Well, you know, I was one of the original pioneers of the sport. Me, Randy, and a bunch of other guys, we were doing this. It wasn't about money. It was about just being who's the badass and what style they represented. And I was a high-level wrestler and, you know, did things wrong, didn't get a chance to go represent the USA. But, you know, that didn't stop me. You know, I kept doing what I was doing, had a really good career, trained some of the best fighters in the world. Everybody knows it's no big deal, no secret. But I don't look to get all the compliments, and I don't want to be in all the magazines about what I did and this and that. It really, at the end of the day, it's what you do in your heart. And my heart is to just try to help as many people as I can. And it's unfortunately that my son would, you know, we'd go to celebrities' houses and he would see me train them and out wrestle them. And he was like, Dad, why don't we got a house like that? Why don't we have this? And I'm like, yeah, it's a little different road for me. But you'll get that, trust me. And, you know, we still to this day talk about me and Rampage saying that he would be the revenge for me in the sport of MMA. Not only did I get the recognition outside of, you know, the inside of the fighters knew who I was, but the fans, I never got a chance to get on that big platform. But I'm happy things turned out the way that they did because I became a better father. I don't know if I would have been the father that I was, that I am today, if I would have took on to that higher next level of celebrity, because a lot of the celebrity friends that I know that have kids that are in fighting, their kids can't fight. And it is what it is, you know. Unfortunately, I spend every weekend with Joey Davis and AJ, pushing them to be better and stronger and teaching them a style that would be exciting for fans. Once I realized that they don't appreciate just a man being good at what he does, they want excitement. So he's been trained to be exciting and flashy, and there's no other way for him to fight. There's no way for any other guy to fight out of our gym. So being that said, you know, I'm happy that things turned out the way they did. Unfortunately, for him, it was a level of disrespect, you know, coming into the sport the way he came in. He started from the very bottom. We didn't get no extra treatment because of my career. In fact, he got regular treatment like any other fighter, which was good because it kept him humble. And then when we hit certain points in his career, he was able to make adjustments, and you could just totally see the growth and adversity in his career, how he was able to handle it. And now you have a fine groomed champion, you know. We don't talk smack about Pitbull. We just state facts, and for some reason they say we shit talk and this. We don't walk with that walk, you know. We say what we believe, and we try to back it up, and so far we've been successful. So it's no hard feelings. It's just it is what it is.
AJ, I have a question for you. AJ, you talk about it. You have, you know, 3-year-old little brother. I'm sure you have dreams eventually one day you're going to have a family of yourself and continue the legacy. You get that belt on Saturday. One day you're going to be telling the little ones about that moment. What are you going to tell them about what it took to get there?
Man, hard work, dedication. You know, that's the key. Man, my 3-year-old brother, he's a gym rat already. Kid's 3 years old, pulling arm bars, heel hooks, and so forth. I want him to be able to fight and for it to be the love of the art of fighting, for it to be the love of the sport, you know what I mean? Not because he has to fight, because he needs to fight, he needs the money or so forth. It'll be just, he really loves to do what he does, you know, and the money will just be a bonus. That'll be more of an incentive for him to go out there and show up and show out.
Pitbull, my final question is for you. You have a lot of the lightweights who are competing on Saturday saying, hey, it's time, we want our own crack at Patricio. You've obviously done so much. What do you think about everybody who's still waiting for you at 155 pounds?
I don't know. I beat Michael Chandler in 2019, and we had a pandemic, and everyone had to wait for the right moment. I believe that is a lot of guys waiting for that, including my brother. So he's the #1 contender, and after that fight, we will see what we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk to Scott and Koga and see what is gonna happen.
Question for El Matador, Emmanuel Sanchez. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Could I ask you, first of all, Mads Burnell is very ambitious. He's European. He wants to fight for the title. When you've studied him, what are the challenges he brings to you on Saturday night at the Forum?
It brings a little bit of everything. I like this fight a lot. You know, when I look at the landscape of the division and all the other fighters that are in it, it's a pool of killers. And that's good. That's what excites me. You know, outside of the champion and the challenger that we have on the Saturday night, we have other great fighters like Mads Burnell, and like as we have aforementioned, Adam Borix and J.J. Wilson, Aaron Pico, and you know, the list goes on. But I want to make a statement. You know, if this fight doesn't go as exciting as everyone planned, then I'm going to steal the show and leave it all on the line.
Could you just tell us, obviously you fought Patricio Pitbull twice, once for the championship. I think it was that tear up in Tel Aviv you had over 5 rounds. And obviously it didn't go too well the last time. But what's the man with the swag, AJ McKee, facing in this champ who's rated #1 pound for pound, I think, at the moment with Bellator? What's AJ facing on Saturday night that he doesn't know yet?
Let's give the man the respect he deserves. Currently, right now, I feel the best featherweight in the world. So I know he's prepared, though. And I want whoever doesn't come out victorious out of this one. That's who I'd like to face after I go out and defeat Mads Burnell.
Gracias, el matador.
De nada.
One question for Scott. You got Pitbull, double champion. You got AJ McKee, probably the most successful homegrown talent Bellator has ever had. Do you think this fight will determine who is the best fighter in Bellator history?
I mean, listen, I think that it's definitely arguable that this is, you know, not only who is the best fighter in the history of Bellator, but maybe I'm hopeful this will be the greatest fight in the history of Bellator. These guys both have a complete game. They're both dangerous. They both have their, you know, skill set, and that's what makes it so interesting. So, you know, we'll know on Saturday, but I'm hopeful that it will be historic and legendary.
My question is for El Matador, Emmanuel Sanchez. I spoke to someone in your division, and he said, yeah, if I fought that guy, he'd take a year off of my life. So does Mads have to put you away? Is that what kind of fight this is going to be?
Yeah, that's how it is. You're going to have to kill me. I mean, what happened in my last time around happened, but if I would have gotten back up and said, all right, let's go again, but that's not the way it works. You know, but that's the type of fighter I am. You know, as Big John McCarthy said, I'm the Terminator. I'm Rambo, I'm Terminator, Liu Kang, Ryu, and I will not stop until they're done and they don't get back up.
Yeah, I hear privately that Pitbull and Eric feel quite disrespected by you two in the build-up to this, that the champ isn't get the respect he deserves, and, you know, Antonio, you've been sounding off about them and that they're nothing and that this is the easiest fight for your son. You know, they're keeping their counsel for once. I mean, why aren't you having a go at them today?
Well, all I did was state facts. He's younger, he's longer, he's stronger, he's faster. He doesn't have the same miles on him. So how's that? I mean, if you want to talk some shit, I can talk that real good, but I'm trying to be respectful for my son's career. Like, I mean, we can take it to another level if that's what you want to do.
17-1.
Well, that sounds good. Look, little guy, calm down. You're going to get your chance Saturday, and we'll talk after this. Interview the winner and the loser.
Hey, you know what disrespect was? Ask Pitbull to sign a newspaper just for my legacy, hang up in my wall one day. Disrespect is crossing my picture out. That's disrespect. But, you know, you don't see me talking about it or going, oh, da-da-da-da.
Your father
Bro,
told
I'm
all
going to
the
break
media
you. I'm going
that
to
I
break
am
you.
on
Stop
drugs.
talking.
Your father said that.
You remember you said you're going to
It's
beat my ass in
disrespectful.
front of my father? I'm going to beat your ass in front of your wife and
said
kids.
that
How
to
about
me.
that? You want
I
to
am
talk
on drugs.
disrespect? We can be
So,
disrespectful.
who is disrespectful
It's now the disrespect's out. Cat's out the bag now. How about that?
And I'm going to beat you in front of your father.
Yeah.
And he'll do nothing
We can make a
about
family
that.
affair ass whooping too.
Your
Like
father,
you
you're
said,
gonna
your
beat,
brother's
you're
number
gonna do
one rank.
nothing.
I'll whoop him too. It don't matter.
I beat up your whole team.
Respect my son and my family. If you want to start it now, let's go.
What? You started.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Oh my, this is great.
You started it. You told you. You and your father. No, bro. Your father told everyone I'm in drugs. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, motherfucker. Yeah. Don't talk about my son. No one's talking about. Don't talk about my father. You gonna say you gonna whoop my ass? You gonna whoop my ass in front of my father?
Your
I'll
father
whoop your
talks shit
ass in
about
front
me.
of
He
your
knows
family
that.
too.
And I'll be
Whatever,
zealous.
bro.
Fuck you too.
Yeah, fuck you too, bro. You already know this. Coming home with me, baby. Yeah. This is my belt, motherfucker. Don't touch it. Yeah. Don't touch it.
Calm down.
Saturday, baby. Saturday, baby. All right. 31st.
This is my new one.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
You don't deserve it.
Fuck you. You don't deserve it.
Hey, you want to put some money on it?
Hey, put 100 grand on it.
You want to put some money on it?
100 grand on it. Put 100 grand on it. Put 100 grand on it.
I'm professional. And you father talk shit about me.
Whatever, bro.
That I'm on drugs. And now you're gonna talk about my son.
Nah, bro.
And my
It's not
life.
even about
Fuck you.
You gonna say you gonna whoop my ass in front of my dad? Okay, I'm gonna whoop your ass in front of your family.
Professional. You're not
Whatever.
professional.
No, exactly.
I'm a real
You
fight.
keep it
Let's do
professional.
it now. I'm a real
What's
fight.
up, bro? It's nothing.
Okay, you fuck everything.
Yeah.
You don't see I'm
Talk
fucking
all that
you.
talk.
I'm going to
Talk
fuck you
all
up.
that talk.
Any more questions?
Yeah, buddy.
Any questions? Roll.
I'm not used to this violence.